Good evening and welcome to the E.A.T podcast. You're probably expecting Jerry or both of us, but you got me tonight. I brought a few friends with me, so I hope everybody had a good week. We had a little break here, and here we go. Our first guest tonight. They're going to help me out with current events, too. I was undecided what I was going to do as my first solo show, but fuck it. Let's have some fun. Our first guest tonight this will be his second appearance on the E.A.T podcast. Our buddy, Joey Boots. Hey, Mr. Boots, how are you?
What's up, Russ? How's it going tonight?
That is a lovely shirt and hat you are wearing tonight.
I mean, it's there we go. Looking at the camera the wrong way. Yeah, it's baseball season. Got to sport my New York bets.
Your New York bets?
My best.
And making his first appearance on the E.A.T podcast, my buddy and huge Mets fan as well. This man's been going to games since the 80s. Mr. Richard Murphy.
Rich, how you doing? I've been going to Mets games since the 70s. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, but you actually remember the 70s?
I do. I remember the first game I went to and why I became a Mets fan. That's the reason. I was in Shea Stadium in 1977. Dave Kingman hit a home run so far that I was in awe. I thought he hit it and he broke my window back in Queens. And then the only thing that got me away from that was my dad kind of like pulling me away because we had to move our seats because I'd be kind of snuck into the stadium at the time. So that was my first experience at 5 years old at Shea Stadium, seeing Dave Kingman hit a 3-mile bomb. And I was hooked ever since.
Nice.
That's great.
Actually, you know what? You just added a little segment to our thing. We'll get into our favorite Mets moments.
Awesome.
But first, current events real quick. You guys probably don't know. I do the stock thing here a little bit, or I try. Elon Musk bought 9.2% of Twitter stock, making him the largest shareholder. I don't know if he's just fucking around or what, or he's going to buy the whole fucking thing. Or I know Twitter's been losing money, but I think he's going to have a little fun with this, and we'll see. But other than that, I don't know what his plan is. And I think Tesla took a big jump today, and I think the market went up. So it's interesting to see what his plan is. And I think at this point he's a wild card in the stock market.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by why he did that too. Just because obviously it's social media.
He has the money to technically buy the whole thing and become right now he's the majority shareholder, but I don't understand. I don't know how it totally works. It's like I don't know how the controlling stock. I don't know how. You gotta ask my partner Jerry, but he's not.
I don't think anybody will ever understand anything that Elon Musk does. The way his brain is just wired and works is so different, and he's just so far on a different plane than everybody else. That Russ, like you said, maybe he's just fucking around and was like, let me just buy this a lot.
Listen.
That's it. Maybe that's all there is to it. It's Elon Musk. He's a wild card.
It must be nice to have all that money to do that. So then again, if I had that money, I probably do the same shit.
I mean, listen, I love Elon Musk, what he's doing with everything. He sees the future beyond anybody sees the future. But with him being a majority stockholder in something like Twitter, which is a social media outlet, whether you do agree with what goes on social media or not, is by him becoming a shareholder, is that going to kind of constrain a lot of people from saying what they want to say? Like if he doesn't,
well, no, because he's an advocate for free speech. So
I understand that.
So his point as their new CEO, I know, was kind of along the lines of censorship, where he's the opposite. So this could be in line with fucking with him. So I laugh because we don't get political here, but we'll do a quick little thing. Back in the 70s, people fought for free speech. And now you get people that are almost fighting against it. So, and I get there are some crazy fucking groups out there and things that shouldn't be said. But, everyone wants all these people that want censorship are cool with it until somebody wants to censor them. So, but all right,
that's not America. Everybody should be able to say whatever the hell they want. Just with no repercussions. But that's a different topic. That's like a 3-hour topic, Russ.
Moving on to the slap heard around the world. This was, I don't think it was staged. There's some stuff going on that has happened in past. And as much as I love Will Smith and thought fuck it, he's standing up for, the more I think about it, first off, comedians, their job is to toe that line. And all right, people are talking about alopecia. Yeah, listen, it sucks. For someone who has it, it probably really sucks. But it's not like you got cancer or something and he crossed that line. He made a fucking G.I. Jane 2 joke, which was, it was kind of funny. And if Will Smith, if they never had that sit down where Jada basically admitted to basically sleeping around and cheating on Will, I'd probably be cool with it. But what some people have brought up, though, is even if a comedian crosses the line, it's not okay for people to get up there and attack them. Because what does this mean for people in comedy clubs across America? Making a joke that maybe somebody gets offended. That's the point of a comedian, to not necessarily offend people, but to cross to toe that line and get a reaction out of people.
Every commentary I heard from every comedian, it didn't matter if they were a Spanish comedian, a black comedian, a gay comedian, it didn't matter who they were. The bottom line, what they said is what he did was made it okay for somebody to come up on stage if they don't like my joke to punch me or slap me in the face, and that's not okay.
I agree with that 100%. And I guess in the end, Will Smith crossed the line. And you're absolutely right. The comedians should be allowed to say their piece. If you don't like what they have to say, don't go see their shows.
Exactly.
That's.
I also think it wasn't staged for the simple fact that, how he feels about it. He's like one of the biggest actors in the world. The guy's been in some of the biggest grossing movies ever. He's not part of the Academy anymore. I mean, for something like that, I would assume that's a big part of what his life is,
I think Netflix just dropped a movie of his already that was about to be produced. So
a lot of money.
I feel bad. He went from I love this Will Smith, his movies, to now I don't know. He seems like just Jada's puppet at this point.
That's another, with that Bel Air show, I got a couple of things to say about that, but another thing. But he's making money off that now too, because that's a very popular show.
Any thoughts?
I haven't watched that yet.
Any thoughts?
I mean, you guys covered it. I mean, it's all just a joke.
I will say though.
Well, go ahead.
I will say though, the memes are great. The
memes are great. Instantly. Just the power of the internet. Just instantly. Just scrolling, and it was Will Smith. Then there were some gems in there. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing itself, the whole hype around it. It's just, the comedian can't make a joke. It's just, I don't think there is a line with comedians. I mean, that's what they do. They make fun of situations. They make fun of shitty situations, and we go all laugh at. Sucks when it's directed at somebody, but you know what? The next joke's gonna be directed at the next guy and themselves. Get over it.
Sometimes comedy makes a shitty situation. We'll give a little humor to it. It makes it a little better. Russ, as well as I do in our line of work, is there's nothing off limits. I mean, if there was some kind of HR or something in our field, it's forget about it. But fortunately, there's not. Listen, some people get their feelings hurt sometimes. I mean,
if there was HR, but there was human resources and iron working. Oh my God, we'd all be fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
never happened. Probably would kicked out of the local years ago. Moving on to our last current events topic, sort of a sports one. The Masters coming up, and Tiger Woods is apparently thinking of playing. I didn't even know before last week. Didn't even know this was an option, and I thought he was out for still a long time. And I guess he's going to say, "Fuck it, let me see how I feel." And he's in there. What do we think here? I love Tiger, but he just hasn't been the same. But what do you give his odds for winning? They can't be high.
Well, I mean, listen, I heard this on the radio, so I'm regurgitating something I heard on the radio today. I think one of the bigger things that they're talking about, it's like a current events issue, is he wore FootJoy golf shoes today. They're not affiliate of Nike. So their whole big deal is, I can't believe this is what they're talking about, is he wore a different company. So now Nike is going crazy trying to figure out how quick they could get a brand new golf shoe for Tiger Woods just so he could wear it. They don't care if the guy's going to win the Masters or not. They don't care about his golfing. It's Tiger Woods.
Care about their branding.
Let's give him a new brand. Okay, you know what? Maybe he breaks his leg, falling down. It doesn't matter. He's still wearing the Nike shoes, and that's where our society is today. That's all I heard about today.
Well, I think we
I mean, it's good for golf, right? I mean, it's Tiger Woods.
Tiger is good for golf, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're coming up on the summer months, right? Spring, summer's coming up. People getting out golfing. You bring Tiger back, gets everybody's interest back up in it. All the tournaments are coming, right? It can't hurt the sport. And I'm sure they did some convincing to get Tiger to play. Maybe throw him some extra money, just come out there, be a face, and people are going to watch it.
Listen,
People are going to watch it.
Yeah, you're right. Any tournament with Tiger is going to get more watched than without.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he does terrible, people just want to see him. He's just a polarizing figure.
Yeah.
Yep.
You tell me Brooks or what's his face?
Exactly.
Are in there. Like, all right, they're in there. Great. I think they're both fucking
Nobody.
douchebags. But you tell me Tiger and Rory are going to go at it for a round or two. Bring it. Let's do it. Love it.
Yeah.
Even Rory,
Nobody's
nobody's
fans.
Tiger Woods, not just golf, just a sports figure in general. Tiger Woods, wherever he goes, he's like Michael Jordan. Wherever he goes, he just people following him. He's going to bring ratings. He's going to bring a lot of money.
Rich, do you golf much?
No, I don't. I've been golfing a couple of times. Coming up on retirement in a couple of years. I like to learn how to play, but no.
I love golf. I haven't got out much in recent years. My question was going to be, if you could play one round with anybody, who would it be?
Being that I don't know too many golfers, I'd have to say Tiger Woods because I got a lot of questions I could ask him.
Joe?
Russ, I've known you how many years, and we've never played golf, so it's going to be you right now. Wow. We're going to put you on the spot that we're going to have to go out this summer.
Well, then I know there's definitely going to be a couple.
Moving up the host there. I like it.
Exactly. I mean, Jerry can stay back, but we'll go for
I'm not going to lie. I might consider having to buy a new golf bag simply because I found this fucking this basically it's a case. It almost looks like a baseball bat bag, but it fits in your golf bag and it holds 6 beers and insulates them. Nice. And I was like, this is fucking great because half the courses they don't allow coolers and you spend $9 a beer at the Cart Girl. And but I would have to consider buying a new golf bag just to fit this fucking thing. And I was like, fuck it, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So before we move on, Russ, who's your dream round?
I mean, obviously everybody wants Tiger. But I got to tell you, dude, I would just love it. Just a slobber knocker, a beer and a cigar. Well,
tell me, John Daly?
John Daly.
Not about him.
Dude, that looks like a fun-ass round. His conversation of how didn't you get hurt over the years? He says, well, you can't pull fat. So, that answer was, the guy's a legend. And he just looks like he'd be so much fun. Play Pebble Beach and just pound beers and have some cigars. Listen, I suck at golf. I try. I'd love to say Rory, or even what? I bet you Ricky's pretty good to play with.
No, Russ, you nailed it with John Daly.
Absolutely,
you nailed it with John Daly.
Probably well enough that's who I was going to pick.
Yeah, and as soon as you started saying it, I was like, "Yep, that's the right answer." Not only are we going to play a round of golf, we're going to go out drinking after and hang out and tell stories with him. Because I mean, how could you not?
I never forget. I went with my buddy John, and listen, you always have like a good round. You have we don't really drink that crazy. It's just I'd say when we were going hard and heavy, we play 2 or 3 rounds, couple beers to actually try to play. But then there'd always be a round where we'd say, "Fuck it," we're just gonna have some fun. And I remember I bought like little 8-ounce bottles of Diet Coke and filled them with like 2 shots of Johnny each, and put them in my golf bag. I don't even know how many beers we bought from the girl, and I'm usually good. I can go around, maybe lose 2 balls, 3 balls, I lost an entire fucking, 12 sleeve of balls. And I remember like 17, I fucking hit one into the water in my last ball. And my buddy was like, fuck it, we're done. Let's go to the clubhouse. And now we're drinking Johnny Walker in the clubhouse. I get dropped off at my in-laws and I was annihilated. And I remember my wife being like, I thought you went and played golf. And I was like, well, define played. And I
was on a golf course.
It was a fun day. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to what we're all here for. Major League Baseball preview. The season is upon us, and our Mets are in the shitter already.
Are they really?
Quick little. We'll get to that, but quick little news. I guess everybody's going to copy the Manning cast from football, but so Sunday night ESPN is going to do Michael K and A-Rod cast. I don't know if I like that. I think A-Rod's a pompous douche. I'm not huge on Michael K. I think that Peyton and Eli just have a certain chemistry that works. And I think it's a different. I don't know if it's going to work, but of course they're going to copy the same formula, and I could give 2 shits about it.
That might be the worst combination I've ever heard in my entire life since Dennis Miller back in Monday Night Football trying to infiltrate Monday Night Football. That is going to go so horribly wrong. Michael K and A-Rod, all they're going to do is just talk about themselves the whole time. That's the worst combination, I think. Just for something live like this, no, they got to get somebody with some personality. Like basketball does it right with Shaq and Barkley. They got to get somebody like that, man. Somebody that get a little, comedy, a little substance.
Like, can they not just have the Manning brothers do that as well? Can the Manning brothers just do everything? I mean, they're fucking hilarious.
I'm with you, dude. Here's the thing: is Joe Buck's going to Monday Night Football. I fucking hate Joe Buck, but he was funny. I don't know if you guys watch Brockmeyer.
Yes.
No.
Brockmeyer's. Joe Brockmeyer's fucking.
All right,
hysterical.
it's on my list right now.
No, I mean it's the second or third episode is fucking. I was in tears.
Okay.
Bro. Tears.
This area, New Mexico, minor league baseball announcer. It goes so well.
Yeah, really.
No,
I'm in.
When the tech kid's getting the hand job and the guy walks on the field and lights the field on fire, bro, I was crying.
Everything said in that show is just wrong. Everything that comes out of his mouth is just wrong. I love it.
Nice.
When the fucking third baseman was like, anything you do to me while we're touching two girls is gay, but do a lot of it.
Yes. What about the big fat guy who stood in the box all the time this first season and just every time a pitch, you just hit him in the belly because it was right over home plate. He'd walk, he'd get hit by pitch every time.
That's great.
Great show.
Was it the end of the first season with Amanda Pete when they go to the fucking when they go to the clinic so she could take the Plan B pill and he fucking snorts it.
Joe, great show.
But I'm telling you,
I'm excited to watch it.
First season itself is probably one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my life. And not like Office funny where I'm like, it's hysterical. And like you watch it and you're like, yeah, this is okay. It was fucking great.
I can't wait.
With the Peyton and Eli, as far as Joe Buck, dude, nobody's going to watch fucking Monday Night Football with Joe Buck. They're going to watch Peyton and Eli. And what happens when your ratings for the Manning cast is better than your regular cast? Please tell me, find me one person that likes Joe Buck.
I tolerate Joe Buck.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I tolerate
I can.
He's the most egotistical fuck you've ever met in your life.
I can tolerate him calling a big game, right? I mean, there's not many choices. You're watching the World Series, right? He could be worse for calling a game.
Yes.
Do I love the guy? No, but can he call? Can he make the calls?
Yes.
I don't like the voice. Listening to him call the World Series could be worse.
I just from my perspective with Joe Buck is, I mean, I like to listen to the World Series and my memory escapes me now, but to me, he's got one of my favorite calls of all time. It was a Game 6, hit a home run. I think it might have been Altuve, and all he just said was, "We'll see you tomorrow night." And that to me is one of the best calls I've ever heard. It just it happened to come out of Joe Buck, but that just said it all about that series. And I was like, oh my God, we'll see you tomorrow night. It was amazing.
All right.
Perfect call.
My question to you is you got a choice to watch Monday Night Football. You watching Joe Buck on the regular telecast? You watching the Manning cast?
I'm going to watch Howard Cosell. No, I'm watching the Manning brothers. I love the Manning brothers. Love them.
They're hilarious.
Yes.
All right. So let's go a little baseball. Let's go a little deep in baseball now. Off-season moves. What do you think are the best moves overall by team? And what do you think the best individual move was?
Go.
I mean, we got like what the Mets did, right? Amazing offseason. I mean, Scherzer, Marte, as a team. I mean, Scherzer, is that the best move of the offseason? Probably, maybe.
The Scherzer move I'm happy with, and not necessarily for Scherzer himself, because he very easily could go down the hill, being that he's 37. I love it for one reason only. We went out, swung our balls, and fucking slapped them on the table and says, give me the best free agent pitcher. That's the one that I'm happy about. That was the one of the moves that wasn't typical Mets, and I was very happy about.
I have from my perspective, I think the team that got better and made the two best moves, the Texas Rangers, just shored up that middle infield. I mean, come on, man. You got Corey Seager and Simeon. That's that middle infield right there. I think the Texas Rangers got significantly better. I don't know. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna make some noise.
Yeah, I mean, you got Nate Lowe there. You got Seager, Simeon. I agree with you.
You gotta love what the Blue Jays did.
Well, the Blue Jays, for me, they're probably my team to possibly win it all in the AL. Either them or the Red Sox. I can never say the Yankees just because I fucking hate them. But you want to talk about murderer's row. I mean, it's pretty much the lineup in Boston is awesome. And with Kike Hernandez, Devers, fucking Bogarts, JD Martinez, they got Trevor Story now. But you look at 1 through 4 in Toronto, and you're talking about where were they here? Just
and Russ, real quick, while you're looking that up, you made a comment about you don't want to pick the Yankees because you hate them. This is a year you don't have to feel bad about not picking the Yankees because you're a Mets fan. I don't think they're in that conversation with the AL East.
No, I don't either.
Well, listen, your first 5 batters are fucking Rizzo, Judge, Gallo, Stanton, and Donaldson. As far as home run, you have a home run threat there. His first 5.
Yep.
They're not average hitters. They're monsters that can hit a 500-foot home run. However, in Toronto, you're talking George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Tiscar fucking Hernandez. That's out of control for
yep.
Those fucking guys not only mash the ball, hit for average, and those 4 are probably the best top 4, 1 through 4 in the lineup in the league.
A lot of teams got significantly better. The Blue Jays, even I don't know how they could have gotten even better from last year. I think Vladimir Guerrero, he's going to be the American League MVP this year. I think that guy has his ceiling is just listen. Unless the guy gains a lot of weight, but he's very quick for a big guy, and he's got a good glove. He hits a lot of home runs, and just his dad with the legacy. His dad was one of the greatest I've ever seen in my life.
His dad, the Montreal Expos fucking uni.
Yeah. Yep. Actually got to meet him. I worked at an old job years ago, and his cousin worked there. And everybody he looked like Vlad, and everybody was kind of like, yeah, is he actually his cousin? And sure enough, he came in one day. He was the nicest guy. He was a monster. Nice. I mean, he was what, 6'5", 6'6", something like that. He's just a monster of a guy.
Wherever the ball was, the guy could find it and hit it. It didn't matter if it was low, high. It didn't matter. One of the best pure hitters I've ever seen. Amazing, unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think his son definitely has the talent and the wherewithal.
They all do. That whole lineup. Springer on top of his game is just out of control. Between stolen bases and everything. And
how are you going to defend a center field with Springer? Like if Springer's a center fielder, but that guy could play the entire the way he dives.
I know he's so fast.
He's sometimes I think he forgets it as a right and a left fielder. Sometimes the guy flies through the air like Superman makes these catches sometimes.
But I think
these guys go all out.
Yeah.
And again, I also think a lot of these guys that maybe have had a slower season. I think a change of pace is good for guys, man.
I'm not gonna lie though. I
go
really
to a different city,
a
different climate, different type of fan. Maybe that's what people need.
No, it happens. How many times have you seen a player go to another team in another environment, and all of a sudden they either reach their potential or they explode, or sometimes it's just what they need. They need that.
Yeah, every time they leave the Mets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every player that leaves the Mets, garbage, get him out of town. Yeah,
the only player that hasn't got there yet was fucking Jared Kalenic. So
he was a rookie. What last year was his rookie season?
He didn't.
Let's give him a minute.
No, I know, but I laugh at all the Mets chat rooms that still think that we gave up fucking
for Cano and Diaz, right?
Edwin Diaz.
That was the deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I that's another thing. Russ, you see me when I just kind of I can't take Met fans sometimes. I'm one of these Met fans Met fans drive me insane.
Yeah, but
the sky is falling, and oh my God, we got rid of this guy. He's going to become this guy. It's like, well, you know what? How about we just deal with the team that we have now and let everybody else make the decisions? We're not making the decisions for a reason. You guys want to trade somebody? Trade somebody. Max Scherzer, I'm pumped about Max Scherzer, but let them do that, and let's just follow our team. And
I agree with you, and I see a lot of your comments on stuff in those pages, and I laugh at some of the people are just so out of touch reality. Believe me, Joe knows it happens in Ranger groups that we're in that we're 85,000 games over 500, we lose 2 in a row and play shitty, and people are like, oh, Gallant needs to be fired, and what?
Yeah,
we're about to make the playoffs in 5 games, and we're gonna be fucking in a very nice spot, and people want to fire everybody because we played 2 shitty games in a row.
Yeah, right.
A quick question is let's not rule out fucking however you pronounce his name, Toscar fucking Hernandez.
Yeah.
The dude's fucking stat line, 296 average last year, 32 home runs, 111 or 116 RBIs last year.
Yeah.
You can't
You
rule
know what?
that.
You know what? I want to tell you guys something that I've been looking at from a pitching perspective. Okay. Now let's take the Tampa Bay Rays for instance. Okay, those guys, they're always in the hunt all the time. They're pitching coaches. They got to be top pitching coaches in the game. Now listen to why. The reason I feel this way is look at a guy like Blake Snell, who's pitching to a 3.75 ERA. Okay, goes there last year, terrible. Pitched to a 4.3 ERA. He's pulled out of games. He's not pitching. Now look at a guy like Corey Kluber. Okay, Corey Kluber with the Yankees. He threw a no-hitter, whatever he did last year. What if a guy goes to Tampa Bay now? Now, if all these guys leave Tampa Bay and they don't become good pitchers, they just on the downturn, but you come to Tampa, what if Corey Kluber has a resurgence and becomes one, and that's scary for a team like Tampa.
They've done a good job of developing people. They play good small ball as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The
Cuban
kid.
The way they develop their talent, to me, they seem to be a better version of what Billy Beane does in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Beane, Oakland has been so great at developing talent and picking value players in drafts and develop. You see it. They do the same thing over and over again. They suck for a year, and then all of a sudden, the next 2-3 years, they're either in the playoffs or they're just to it with great pitchers and very good small ball players that know how to play the game. And then they lose in the first round or whatever, and they blow it back up and they restart again. And it's like clockwork.
They just did it again. They blew up their entire team. They just did it again.
They let Manea go. They let fucking Bassett came to us. Starting Mark, they didn't develop.
Canna,
yeah. And then what do you call it? Matt Olson, fucking. Yeah. They did the same thing years ago. You had the Tim Hudson, Barry Zito, fucking Mark Mulder comedy. They just keep doing it year after year. They develop all these players, and then But here's the thing: is Tampa Bay is starting to do the same thing, except they're actually getting deeper and almost won the series.
Yeah,
and
right.
But you know what too? Like you could go back to what they were talking about with the the collective bargaining agreement. A team like Tampa. You get teams like the Mets and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Cubs. These like top teams, like they play these luxury taxes and they put the money back into Major League Baseball. Then you get teams like Baltimore and Tampa. Listen, I understand that they're going to do what they can, but then they'll come in with the lowest payrolls, and then I guess they win. I guess that that's good, but they don't use the money, and it's like they just rotate their teams.
Well, that's also my next point. At least Tampa kind of brings in here and there, and I think does a little more than Oakland does, and I think that's why they get further. But at what point, too, you got to say to Oakland where they get these teams and he builds these great young players that play this good, fundamentally sound baseball? At what point do you say, all right, maybe I got to spend a little something just to add a player here or there to get us over that top? Because you're right, what good is it just continuing to have these mediocre teams that never make it past the first round of the playoffs? They play well, and then you ship out your players and restart the system over and over again.
You can even go back to what was it? Probably 93 when the Marlins won. Marlins won a championship. Right. Got rid of everybody. Another one. Got rid of everybody.
What was Juan Pierre?
Brad Penny was that? No, that was the 2000. That was the 2000
with Juan Pierre and
what's his name was the pitcher there?
Al Leiter.
Huh? Yes.
Al Leiter was on one of them.
It was Al Leiter, Brad Penny. What was the other one that went to the Yankees? The fastball, AJ Burnett.
Yes,
was that
Burnett,
right?
Yes.
Yep.
Burnett. What's his name on that team too? And Timmy says this to me all the time. The guy, his father was an iron worker. The black kid that threw. What was his name? He was really good.
Dontrelle Willis.
Yes, Dontrelle Willis.
Oh, yes.
That guy.
I love that.
His hat sideways, got up there.
He's the pitching coach, or he's one of the coaches for the Dodgers now, I believe.
Really? Wow, that's good.
Or a bench coach or something. Him and somebody else. I got to look that up, but I saw something that him and somebody else that retired recently are coaches for the Dodgers.
That's good.
Speaking of the Dodgers, the Dodgers adding Freddie Freeman. I mean, shit.
I'm tired of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the Dodgers. I'm tired of the Patriots. I'm just tired of these guys. It's like tired of the Dodgers.
Of course, but still, I mean, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner, Max Muncy.
Yeah.
Justin Turner. I wish we never let Turner go.
Crazy.
It's the
retrospect. We can't look back as Met fans. We just got to push forward, guys.
I know.
Yep.
I still love it though. I still miss the guy.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think the best? What do you think I should direct it at one of you, Will Rich. What do you think the best single move though is for free agent move? Going somewhere or bringing them in.
I listen. I'd have to say, I know I'm a Mets fan, but Max Scherzer definitely. And
all right, let's go off the Mets topic.
Okay, I'd have to say the Texas Rangers signing Corey Seager. I'd have to say that's a huge move for them. Huge. I think wanted to point out, but I think that's a great move.
Freddie Freeman. I mean, he's a monster. I mean, him going to the Dodgers. That was not a crazy deal that they gave up for him.
And that leads me to a point, Joe, where don't you think, like, if this was – think about the Steinbrenner days with Freddie Freeman. He'd be playing first base for the Yankees in a heartbeat. I don't think the New York Yankees are a destination anymore. They're not the destination place that everybody wants to go.
I think you're right. They don't offer the big money as much anymore, and they don't have the allure that it once was.
Yep. Yeah. No, Richie, you're absolutely right. If back in the Steinbrenner days, if there was when that Freeman was available via trade, free agency, whatever it was, he would be a Yankee right now. You're right.
Absolutely would.
Yep.
And he just would have got him. He just would have overpaid or just whatever. Like that's kind of like the Jason Giambi thing. It's like when they lost in the playoffs that year. It's like, go out and get me that guy. It's like,
yep, exactly. That's right.
Get me that guy.
Yep.
I was just thinking too. I was looking at the Braves as well. Adding Olsen, I think, was big. If they knew that they were losing Freeman. I think bringing in Olsen was big for them because they get Ozuna back, which I don't know how well that's going to go over, considering
he's gonna mess up again.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
His violent, domestic assault. I don't know how well that's going to go over with fans, but he's back, and then you get a couple weeks in, you're going to get Acuna back. That
won World Series without him, though. Think about that.
I know that's the crazy thing is you bring him back. Austin Riley played fucking well. Adam Duvall played well. Ozzy Albies. You bring.
Yep. But is that almost kind of a wash there? You lose Freeman and you bring him back into that lineup.
Yeah. Trying to look what other good lineups here.
You just got to realize too, Max Fried too pitched his ass off in that series.
Yeah.
They just in the World Series.
They have a good pitching staff.
Yeah. Fried did play as well. He played well. Trying to look at what other teams we got here. I know everyone's big on Milwaukee's pitching staff with fucking Woodruff and fucking Corbin Burns, who won this. Freddie Peralta. Burns won the Cy Young, whatever. But other than that, I got their lineup. Colton Wong, Willie Adames. You got Yelich, but then you still got Andrew McCutchen. Is he still got anything left in the tank?
No. I don't think he does. I think he's going to play out the string here and maybe retire in a couple of years. Listen, the guy was an okay baseball player when he played, but unfortunately, I think he's coming to an end. He's not going to help that team much.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see I know people are big on the White Sox as well.
I'll tell you another move. And this is somebody that I don't think you got. I don't know if you guys on your radar, but Seattle, Frazier, the kid Adam Frazier. You guys know the second baseman. They got him from Pittsburgh. Yep. This kid, in my opinion, is going to be a star player in the major leagues. He does everything.
They got him projected to bat eighth. They got him. Got Eugenio Suarez, Jared Galenic, Jesse.
I just think that kid Frazier is a special player. He's great. And listen, the kid hits. He plays the field. I mean, he's just a special player. I think Pittsburgh lost. He might have been a foundation player, but going to where he went, he's gonna be a fantastic baseball player. You got to watch that kid, Frazier.
All right. What do we got here? Any surprise?
Let's not forget about the Cardinals. The Cardinals.
Never forget about them. They're always.
Nolan Arenado.
I should have brought my buddy Ryan. My buddy Ryan has been on the show before. He's a Cardinals fan. He was pretty pumped about bringing Pujols back. Not necessarily for I don't think Pujols is going to do much, but I think just the nostalgia.
Why not? The guy's one of the greatest hitters of our generation, and he's going to DH. He's going to DH now, right? So he's going to help that team. He's going to hit the ball. He's going to hit home runs. He's going to drive in RBIs.
What I find amazing though is that Yadier Molina is still there. after all these years, how good he was, that his knees are still fucking.
Now listen, how great is that? It's a legacy move. You go over there, Pujols, Molina, end of the season, they both ride off into the sunset as two. They're going to be spoken in the halls of St. Louis Cardinals for years to come. Two of the greatest Cardinals ever to play, in that great baseball city.
And then don't forget about Wainwright too.
Wainwright, yep.
Wainwright,
I mean, he's going to contribute. He's going to hit some home runs, but I think it's more the fact that he's going to ride off into the sunset with that Cardinal hat on. He's going to be very proud to wear it.
Yep.
All right. Before we get into our Mets here, World Series. Okay. World Series prediction. We're getting to the playoffs in a minute. World Series prediction. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays.
Go.
Mr. Boots.
I don't want to copy Russ, but my team going into this when I saw that we were going to do predictions was the Blue Jays.
All right.
I too think it's going to Blue Jays, but I don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to lose to the San Francisco Giants in a 7-game series. I think the Giants are going to get back on the horse with that small ball, good pitching. And the Giants, they're always there when they have a good team. Giants win the World Series over the Blue Jays in 7 games.
All right.
I'll tell you what, I'm ready to watch that series.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So before we get to the Mets real quick, 2 different things. Universal DH. Love it or hate it?
Love it.
Mr. Boots?
Don't love it. Kind of like it.
I kind of like it too. Yeah, a little more offense. The only reason DeGrom got hurt last year is because he was at the bat. Then, well, at least that's what we assume. I think it's just time to move on. I understand baseball purists hate the move, but it is what it is, dude. Listen, we're gonna see probably an uptick in runs in the National League, and fucking, most of the time it's becoming an automatic out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And to a point, I'm a purist. I like the old school, like the tradition of it. I think that's what I don't like about it. Is the tradition is gone of the National League and the American League, the difference. But from a watching the game standpoint and from the Mets standpoint, I mean, I like it.
I'm down. All right, and the baseball playoffs expanding to 12 teams. I kind of like it. I think before, I feel like the playoffs, by the time they started, they were over. I feel like it was, you had the first round is, best of 5, then you had a 7, and then you're in series. It's, you're over already.
Like you could bring up the same point, like we were just talking about being the baseball purist without the DH. I mean, if you're a baseball purist, you got to hate the 12-team expansion because the baseball purist likes one winner in each division and they play in the World Series. The game has to change a little bit. And I think that the 12 team, I think any more teams will be a little much, but I think the 12 team rule is good. But yes. I think, like I said, again, that's the game changing in little ways that I think it needs. I think they give other teams a chance.
Like, listen, hockey at 16 to be too much for baseball. I think 12 is a good number. You go from 8 to 12. I think it's a good number. You get the two bye teams. So you have your 3-game series, then you 7-7, and then series. I think it makes a much better. I think it makes it much better.
Yeah, agreed.
Plus, the more baseball to watch, the better.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
Playoff baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
I mean, as long as that runner on second base in the 10th inning is gone.
No, just listen.
I can live with the rest. That's not even baseball purist.
Last time,
stupid.
Last time I saw that, I was in Delaware with my 12-year-old son. They called it the California rule because the sun was going down, so they put a runner on second base. That's the last time I saw that nonsense. They got it. That's the runner on second base.
That's in effect for this year, correct? Next year it's gone?
Yes, 23.
Right, we have to live with it one more season, and then it goes into effect next year. Yeah,
as the ghost runner too is here too.
Let the games go. I mean, if you want to do anything, I wouldn't institute it right away. I would say let him play a 10th and 11th. If you go to a 12th, then maybe talk. But other than that, it was the most gimmicky. Listen, I get it. You don't want to wear pens out. It's a long season, but I don't know. It's just fucking stupid to me.
But I'm also somebody I could sit there and watch like a 17-inning pitcher's duel that's 1-0 going into the 17th inning. I could watch that. Me and my son will sit there all night and watch it.
I'm probably more or less, if it's happening like that, I'm switching back and forth between something.
Russ, you're usually sleeping by the 6th inning anyway, regardless.
That is true.
We get up early, Joe. We get up early.
I know.
I have a rule for Ranger games. If they're up by 3 or down by 3, I'm in bed, bro.
That's
either I'm willing to risk the greatest comeback ever, but at the same time, if we're up by 3 and they're gonna blow it, I don't want to fucking watch it. Listen, 4 a.m. and the fucking alarm comes fast, so I'm not watching them blow out. And I'm out. Mets are usually the games end about 9:45, so if they're on, I'll watch. But same thing with baseball. If they're getting blown out or it's a blowout, I'm out.
It's up to me. I'll be in and out. My son won't miss a pitch, so it's always on the TV. So he won't miss a pitch of any Met game. So it's kind of always on.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, let's break into our New York Mets.
Yes.
All right. So right off the bat, we got Scherzer and DeGrom injured. And personally, I think DeGrom's done. Even if he comes back and gets healthy, I really don't want to see him be signed to a long-term contract or an expensive one. I just don't see it. He's consistently injured with that arm. I just don't think he has it. I don't think he has it in him to stay healthy, long enough. He's just the same thing with Thor. Both of them could have been great. They just cannot stay healthy. And I don't see the justification for a monster contract. When healthy, he's the best pitcher in baseball, hands down. But he can't give us a full season anymore.
All right, so let's talk about DeGrom for a second. Like, I love DeGrom. DeGrom's amazing. But let's say DeGrom, you know what, though, he doesn't give him a contract. And say the Cleveland Indians, who are very well known to take care of their pitchers. He signs with Cleveland, wins another 2 Cy Youngs, and wins the World Series with them. What's wrong with Jacob DeGrom? The Mets trainers.
That's the Mets then. That tells you that the Mets trainers.
It's the Mets trainers. Why do all these Mets players come? Why do these players come here and we get so excited for them, and all of a sudden they got a hamstring issue? They got a shoulder issue. They need Tommy John surgery. Maybe
it's time to clean house then. But right now, it's hard to give DeGrom monster money if he can't stay healthy. It's a catch-22. You're right. He would go to Cleveland or wherever and win a couple more Cy Youngs and fucking win a Super Bowl.
Not to compare the two. Not to compare the two, but Mats was pretty healthy last year and had a pretty damn good year, huh?
Yes, he did. Yeah. So
was that his first full? Did he pitch a full season last year? I don't know that, but I know he put up a good year and he was.
I think he might have missed a couple starts. The only reason because I play fantasy baseball and he missed maybe
some normal wear and tear.
Yeah. Every person we ever have always has health issues.
Yeah, that was the most recent one that just came to mind when you were saying that. Is Matt's had a pretty damn good year and pretty healthy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I know if it's up to me, I love DeGrom, but I love Max Scherzer. Listen, I know he was always our adversary,
but he's also 37. You're now going to get limited time out of him.
He's one of the most intense human beings on the field. When he told the coach of the Dodgers that to get the fuck out of his face after he struck out 3 in a row and he walked right past him, that's one of the most intense. The guy's got 2 different color eyes, man. He's a lunatic.
I know, it's quite intimidating.
I'm super excited for it. But as a Mets fan, you go and you go, when is Scherzer going to go down? Mm-hmm. How many starts is he going to make? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, we're all thinking it
about everybody. It's just
how many times have the Mets? I mean, from Generation K, Isringhausen, Pulsifer.
Well, then Isringhausen was a fucking idiot. Didn't he stab himself in the leg with a Swiss Army knife?
No, the Mets trainer stabbed him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right, who was that? But from Generation K and everyone, I mean, barely even pitched for the Mets. Isringhausen went on to be a pretty decent closer. Some guys had okay.
Bill Pulsifer.
Right. Half of them never had major league careers. Then to a couple of years ago, right?
Isringhausen became a pretty good. Didn't he become a closer?
Oakland, the Cardinals. Yeah, he had a pretty good career as a closer. Yeah, he came to the Mets for a couple of years at the end of his career.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that was supposed to be the new generation of pitchers, start the Mets, new era. Their
same old story. Yeah,
same old story. And then there was DeGrom, Thor, Mats, right? And Harvey.
Is it a matter of toughness? Like, is he just not a tough guy? Is it a matter of just like
no? I don't think so.
Or
I don't think so.
what if he's afraid to not throw 100 miles an hour every game, and maybe he has to dial it back, like Greg Maddux, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, never threw over 93 miles an hour. What if he's afraid to be that guy that maybe have to go to location stuff? What if he can't be that?
Listen, there is nobody that will ever be able to have control the way Greg Maddux did.
No,
I mean, shit. The fucking guy, the amount of balls that he threw is just so little. I can count them on my fucking hands.
Those numbers are crazy.
I never get spoken about probably one of the top 5.
But here's the thing, though, is
yeah,
he probably is. He probably is the greatest pitcher of all time.
Without a doubt.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like you said, he actually had to fucking pitch, not just fucking throw 98 mile an hour slider or 100 mile an hour.
He pitched up here.
He had to use his fucking brain and live on curveballs and fucking changeups and made people look silly on simple pitches and control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His control was probably the greatest ever. How he can, like you said, did he even throw harder than 95, 93 miles an hour? I don't know. So. Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
But his walk to strikeout ratios
is insane.
Were actually absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we all watched him as a kid because we're all Mets fans, so we watched him his most of his career, and we hated him. I mean, but he's kind of like one of those Michael Jordans, right? If you're a Knicks fan, you hate the guy.
Back in Smoltz was retired too.
Steve Avery.
Steve Avery.
Steve Avery.
People don't realize they had like 4 20 game winners in like 96. People don't realize how
one World Series, right?
Yes. Yep. One World Series.
One World Series.
They win again.
That's kind of like my fucking. It's kind of like my fucking Colts, dude. There was a hot take the other day, and it shouldn't be a hot take that the Peyton Manning era was a disappointment, and there's a valid point to it. Peyton gave me so much joy and gave us so many memories, but in reality, with the fucking teams that we had, one fucking Super Bowl win.
Now listen, your organization, if you want to go into the Colts 1 second, those guys should all be arrested for manslaughter because they killed 2 quarterbacks. They killed Peyton Manning almost, and they killed Andrew Luck. Well, they never got any protect. That poor kid,
Ryan Griggs,
at Stanford, he's probably doing some stuff now because he got murdered in the NFL.
Yes. Ryan Griggs.
They never did nothing for him.
That was Luck leaving was Ryan Grigson's demise.
Oh my God, that poor kid was a great quarterback.
I'm glad we brought in Ballard and he revamped the offensive line, but still, I got my own issues with him. That's for a later story.
Yeah, that's a later story. I could imagine. Back to our Matt.
Yeah, these kids these days, they don't realize that how deadly Maddox, Glavine, and fucking Smoltz and then Steve Avery were.
Yeah.
Avery didn't last that long, but like I said, that year, that 1 to 2 years, they had like 4 of them had like 20 something wins or some shit. They were unstoppable. And Fred McGriff. Oh, I love that guy. Crime Dog.
The Crime Dog.
Crime Dog.
Yeah, Crime Dog.
That guy was fucking awesome, dude.
Right.
As much as I hate the Braves, how did you not love Fred McGriff?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Listen, we're Met fans are spending way too much time on the Atlanta Braves right now. That's my guy. I can't stand the Braves.
I'm going to say something even worse.
You want to talk Phillies next? What the fuck?
Exactly.
I'm going to say something worse. I even rooted for them to win the World Series last year. When they were in the World Series.
Who's that? The Braves?
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is. But
I'm not going to lie. Freddie Freeman's 2 hits in the final game won me a couple hundred.
Hey,
there you go.
That's where we live in.
But anyway, the Mets. Listen, what the thing is always just it's every year. I don't get it. Is when Steve Cohen bought the team, I thought the circus was over. The reality of it is, it's still a circus. It's just different animals. It's a different type of circus. It's I don't.
I think
it's funny with
it's a more expensive circus.
It's more expensive. Listen, it's a more expensive circus. Now, if you know this guy Steve Cohen, like I said, he's the richest owner in baseball. This guy is kind of like his fantasy team. Like I threw $200 in for my fantasy league this week. This guy's fantasy team. He wants to win. He's a Mets fan. I'm all right being on the top like that. Like everybody, the Yankees used to buy other players. I don't care. But you know what? I'm okay being that guy who's got the owner that's going to buy anybody. You know what? Let's go. I've had
I'm fine with it.
Like watching this team lose. I want to win with this team. And if you're going to give $200 million to the luxury tax, the guy can handle it, man. Just it's petty change for him. He wants to win a World Series. He said within 3 years. I'm on board, man. The Wilpons are gone. It's a new era. It's a completely different ownership. I really feel that way.
No, I agree.
Yeah, he did. They made great moves. And it was funny when the whole lockout thing was going on. I said to a buddy of mine who's a big Mets fan, and said this is the most Mets thing that can happen. The Mets have this amazing offseason, Scherzer and Marte, and they make all these moves, and we're World Series contenders, and they're not going to fucking play baseball this year. I was like, this is the most absolute Mets thing that can happen.
Though. Everyone talks about Marte and Scherzer and Connor, but listen, Eduardo Escobar was a great fucking pickup.
I was just going to bring that up.
No, don't talk about Mark Kahn.
That was a very
good, right? Yep,
very good move. We can't discredit that one.
Yes, the kid, he 3 home runs in spring training. He's playing a good third base. That's what we need. We need somebody to play third base. I mean,
and I hope he keeps it up. But the Francisco Lindor that we are seeing right now in spring training is the fucking Francisco Lindor that we need in the season.
MVP of the National League this year. Bold statement. I've been saying it. He's going to be back to his Cleveland days. He's winning the MVP this year. I'm telling you, he is.
I'm down. I'm down.
I'd love to see. I think another piece that we. Yeah, Russ.
No, you go. I always interrupt people.
So I think another big piece to this season that a lot of people aren't talking about or thinking about is McCann. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a great year last year. He came in. He was, and Russ doesn't love it. I can tell by the face he doesn't love McCann. When he came on, everything I read about this guy, he was a huge fan favorite in Chicago with the White Sox. Everybody loved the guy. I think he's going to have a comeback year. He got to know a pitching staff, first year as a catcher. I think he's going to have a decent season at the plate.
I haven't loved anybody's.
I think it's good to keep him at the catcher this year because next year we have the beast coming up from the Cyclones there. He is going to be he's going to be our catcher for the foreseeable future. Alvarez, that kid is the kid's hitting the ball.
He hit a monster. He hit a monster the other night.
So you give me McCann for maybe a year, and this kid comes up next year, maybe the year after.
Let's not forget about.
Just call a good game. That's all. Catch a good game. Call a good game.
Batty coming up maybe next year, the year after. He looks really good. I really like what he did last year.
Yes.
So, what else we got here for the Mets? All right, so
Marte is going to steal maybe 50 bases this year. Marte was a big pickup.
That was a great pickup. I'm not really
sold. Guys going to steal bases. Mets going to be exciting this year too.
Yeah.
No, you go.
No, yeah, I love every move that was made this year. Every guy they picked up, I'm excited about.
The only person I'm pissed about losing though is I wanted to keep Aaron Loop.
That was a pretty decent loss for the
he went to the Mariners. Oh, I think he went to the Mariners.
No, he went to the Angels with Syndergaard.
Angels. I'm sorry, you're right. He did go to the Angels. My bad. Yes, he did.
Another thing to bring
up,
a
middle reliever. Whatever. What are you going to pay a middle reliever $7 million to pitch an inning or two? Anybody can do that.
He was one of anybody. The problem is anybody doesn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
That was one of our best relievers. I would have liked to have kept him just keeping that pen.
If Seth Lugo's 100% healthy, like he could be a modern day Goose Gossage, man. That guy could throw 3 or 4 innings.
Yes, he is a nice long reliever, good spot starter. My only concern, what do you guys think that even with our full lineup, of starting pitchers, we're all righties. Scherzer, DeGrom, Tawan Walker,
Lindor switches it up.
Bassett, we're all righties.
Lindor switches it up.
No. I'm talking about our pitching staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the hitting.
Yeah, our pitching staff is complete. We're all righties. There's not a single lefty.
What's his name? Didn't they trade Castro? Isn't the kid that got from the Yankees? Isn't he a lefty? They just traded.
I think so from the bullpen. Yeah,
the guy from they traded Castro. The Yankees
yesterday they made that deal.
Never make trades.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I'm not really sure. As far as starting pitchers go, though, I think that's kind of a disadvantage that every team knows are coming in. That they don't have to worry about at least a lefty in the starters.
Yeah. But when you're healthy and throw 102, it doesn't matter if you could throw with, it doesn't matter what arm you're throwing with. You're not going to
that was your key word was healthy.
I mean, that's
positive Met fans, guys. Come on. I like to be
positive. That's it. We're going to.
You can never be positive. I've always had hope.
You have to be, man.
This is like the first time we've ever had hope, and it's crashed before the season even fucking started.
Oh, it's not crashed. Oh, my Lord. Come on, I got to be the positive guys. Joe, you positive about the season? Russ seems like he's a little negative about it.
No, I'm feeling positive. It's a crushing feeling to know that DeGrom. I'm so positive about it. To be honest, I think it's between the Braves and the Mets. It's going to be a battle. Are we in the first place? But with the expanded playoffs, we're a playoff team.
We'll make the
We're in
playoffs.
the
No, I
playoffs.
agree. With the expanded playoffs, we're a playoff team, and anything can
Do I
happen.
think we win the World Series? No. Do we
Okay.
get a series or two in? Yeah, definitely. It also depends what happens with DeGrom. Is DeGrom?
If we won the World Series and Syndergaard and Stroman left, they'd fucking probably be kicking themselves.
Listen, you can keep you can keep Stroman. He's out in Chicago now. He'll be somewhere else a year after that. You guys.
I know. I still wanted him though. He pitched very well for us.
He did. Don't get me wrong, but you want a guy like that that's gonna, that's just gonna implode
Something
on your
went wrong
teammates.
internally there. Something went wrong internally, and obviously
Right.
he didn't get along with some of the fans. I get it. He wanted to run it far away from here, but yeah, I don't know. He came here, and I think when he did pitch, he pitched pretty well for us.
He did. Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Local kid.
Supposedly, his dad works out at my gym, and my buddy showed him to me the other day. The guy was a big, jacked fucking man.
Yeah, he's from right down the road over here.
Yeah,
right?
so it makes sense.
So
that
by me, Stroman's father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. He's a Long Island kid. Same with Matt's. He's not too far from out here, where me and Russ live. Matt's grew up as well. So yeah, I mean, it sucks losing. You always like those local kids on your team, right?
Of course.
But yeah, well, I mean, we'll move on without Stroman. Would have been nice to have him back for another year. But I like the Mets rotation. We're gonna be positive Mets fans, right?
I'm hoping that Carrasco turns it around.
DeGrom's back in 6 weeks.
Yes.
I hope so.
They said he'll be reevaluated in a month, so let's give him 6 weeks.
Yep.
But we're doing it right. Mets historically come out to hot starts.
Yeah.
So we're in a good position.
I don't know if you know either. Look at Carlos Carrasco. Like, I know he had a down season last year. He's a 3.5 lifetime ERA guy. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He's got something to prove.
Yeah. He's coming up on a contract as well.
Right now, though, I think really, if you look at our lineup, aside from DeGrom, Tawan Walker, I think is the only one. We don't know what Bassett's going to do in New York, but we know what Tawan Walker is going to give us here, and that makes
I like Bassett. I think it's going to be good.
That makes me happy, knowing that our fifth starter, like a Tawan Walker, can pitch here and pitch well here. So
don't forget about McGill and Peterson. McGill and Peterson, they're number 3 or 4 or 5s. Maybe they're young.
Peterson was supposed to be in there last year, and I wasn't huge on him.
All right.
I think McGill had some decent starts.
I think he showed promise. I think he had a couple of starts there.
I'm assuming they're going to fill in with, obviously Scherzer and DeGrom out. I would think so.
Right.
So, all right, we got anything else?
McGill's not bad too. Another young kid. McGill's a good pitcher.
And Robbie Cano. Yeah, exactly.
Richie. If they could put him if there was a team in Alaska, I wish they would trade him to Alaska. As far away from Citi Field as possible.
He really fucking ruined his legacy leaving the Yanks.
Whatever. God. Listen, the guy will come in and hit 9 home runs in like 3 games, and then he'll bat 100 for the rest of the season.
I agree. I'm assuming they're gonna platoon him at second with McNeil. I would think.
Dom Smith DHs full time.
What happens with Conforto? I mean, his injury now they're revealing a shoulder injury. Do you think he re-signs with the Mets on a cheap because right now nobody wants to sign him? What is he? What is
with that talent? It sounds like he was playing like Ring Around the Rosie and he hurt his shoulder and he fell.
Yeah, it sounds like he was fooling around.
What's going on? I love Conforto. If you look at my closet, I got 2 Conforto jerseys. Love it. Has a great story, but I don't know what's up with him. No one's going to give him. He turned down that initial.
At this point, I would just say, "Listen, I'm sorry, Mets. Give me something cheap, and I'll work my way back."
He's
going to get a minor league. He'll be probably playing for the Mets minor league system. If that's the case.
At this point, we're what 3 days from opening day.
Yeah, he's got no position, no
Michael
team,
Conforto, who people calling top 10 free agents on the board.
Yeah,
is still not signed. He's overstayed himself.
Maybe he'll be playing some local bar softball league somewhere. That guy could hit the shit out of the ball in a bar softball league.
What are you guys thoughts on the failed trade that happened yesterday? It seemed like it was all set to go, and then they canceled it we were going to take on Hosmer's contract to basically take on Paddock, and then at last minute, we called it off. Apparently,
you don't want Hosmer, do you? Hosmer?
No, but Paddock, I didn't mind.
Listen, now you know what I think. I think a lot of what's going on is a lot of people are looking at these trades, and people just want more and more and more. I understand. Listen, can we use another middle reliever? Absolutely. But it's like people, they just want more and more. Let's go. Again. I know I sound like a broken record, but the season starts this week. How about we just focus on what we got? Let's forget about these guys. You know what though? Let's go to war with our team. Listen, can we get like a middle reliever? Can we use a lefty bat? Can we use? There's a lot of stuff we can use. But you know what though? Right now, let's go. Let's go kick some ass, man. That's kind of how I feel. And let's just let the season play out like a Met fan. Listen, June will be crying anyway. We're all Met fans.
I think you're exactly right. Let's let this season start playing out, right? And at the end of the day, we're going into a season right now where if the Mets did win the World Series, nobody's going to be shocked.
Yeah, no.
Nobody's going to be shocked.
I'll always be
we will as Mets fans, but
Yes.
the rest of the world will not be shocked and go, yeah, they had a good team going into it. They were up there. They were contenders.
I honestly don't know what I would do with my 17-year-old son, Aiden. Like I said, I love the Mets. I'm a big Mets fan, but this kid, my son, he lives, breathes Mets. I don't know.
Listen,
Mets win the World Series.
Mets win the World Series. The three of us are probably going to all meet for the fucking parade.
1,000%. He's
Absolutely.
like, I'm taking the week off. My son, I'm taking the week off from school. It's like,
The week.
Yeah, week, not the day, the week. Like
Listen, I don't care
he's a baseball. My son's a baseball genius. Like
I don't care where I'm working at the Rangers or the fucking Mets. Ever win the Stanley Cup or the World Series? I'm taking off work and going to the fucking parade.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm a 50-year-old Islander fan, so my heyday was back in the 80s. So I really haven't watched hockey in about 20 years.
My condolences to Mike Bossy. He hasn't passed yet, but things are looking grim with him.
Really, I didn't hear that.
As much as I hate to say it, being a Ranger fan, Bossy was probably one of the greatest pure goal scorers of all time.
Yeah.
The guy averaged over an 82-game season, averaged 62 goals a year.
Yeah.
So,
all
right, let's we're gonna move on to a quick little football here for a few minutes, and then we'll get you out of here, Rich.
Okay.
Rich is a Jets fan.
Jets fan.
With one of the most overrated fucking QBs of all time, and Mr. Joe Namath. But that's a story for another day.
Don't get me started on Joe Namath. Again, not a Joe Namath fan. I go with Curtis Martin as my representative, man. What do you call it? I'm not a big Joe Willie fan, and I know older Jet fans will kill me, but I'm just not a Joe.
Here's my thing: if Joe Namath does not win the Super Bowl, the iconic Super Bowl, called it. It's one of the most iconic moments in sports history. But if he doesn't win, he doesn't even remotely sniff the Hall of Fame. His stats are horrific.
Listen, you can throw that out at any time. Who's a bigger thing, like him or when Patrick Ewing says we're going to win? They win that championship. Patrick Ewing's a hero too. Anybody could say that.
Yes, but Patrick Ewing had the stats to be a great player.
Very true. Very true.
Joe Namath had a losing record as a quarterback, and he threw like 50 more interceptions than he threw touchdowns.
I'm not a big fan.
And he had horrific. You look at him. If you looked at his numbers and didn't say who he was, you would think he was one of the worst quarterbacks of all time.
My quarterback.
I know a lot of Jets fans would hate me for saying that, but it's the truth. Go look at his fucking stats. He was.
But he won the Jets a Super Bowl.
I know.
Whether at the time we knew what the Jets franchise was going to become one day, it was almost foreshadowing how great he was for that season to win the Jets a Super Bowl. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Trent Gilbert won a fucking Super Bowl, all right?
We didn't know and I'm a Giants fan, but I do like the Jets. I consider myself a Jets fan. So one sport I can say I like the Jets and the Giants. Baseball, fuck the Yankees. I'm a Rangers fan. Fuck the Islanders. Football, I can say I'm a little 50-50. I do like the Jets, but that's it. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. That's why he's Joe Willie Namath, because he won the Jets Super Bowl. Little did we know what was in store for that franchise, but that's cemented his legend.
Horrible stuff. I don't know. The Jets. I think the Jets are starting. Again, I'm sounding like a Met fan as well. I think the Jets are striding in the right direction. I think they need to get an offensive line. They need to get one of these offensive linemen in the top 5. They have 2 picks in the top. Was it in the top 10? They may trade one of them. They need to get either the offensive lineman from Alabama or the kid from Iowa. Those kids are game-changing offensive linemen, and they need to get their hands on one of those kids.
You being the Jets fan you are, is Zach Wilson the answer at QB for you?
He's serviceable, and I'll take him. Yes, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think they're going to surround him. I think they're going to surround him with players Will he win a Super Bowl? Maybe, maybe not. But listen, I waited long enough. What are we going to do? We're going to start this whole thing, recycle it again, or are we going to go back to back to all these quarterbacks that we've had? Besides the Cleveland Browns, I think the Jets have had more quarterbacks in the last 20 years than any franchise. Let's stick with Zach Wilson. Listen, the kid's handsome. We know what handsome gets you. Tom Brady wants all these
Super
Super Bowls.
Speaking of handsome, his mom and his girlfriend ain't too bad looking either.
Yes. No, him and his girlfriend broke up. I'm on the gossip end of that too with Zach Wilson. Listen, he's going to be our quarterback, and I'll go to war with Zach Wilson.
If they broke up, I mean, she's available. Honey, getting a divorce. She just said okay. Boots, I'll ask you the same question, but the Giants version. How much faith do you got in fucking Daniel Jones? Do you want to see what he does with Brian Daboll as coach, or do you really have no confidence in him?
Why are we getting divorced?
Yes, to both. Yes to both. Now, I don't have a lot of confidence in that at this point, but I do want to see what he does with an actual team around him, decent coaching staff, potentially decent coaching staff.
And what are your thoughts on Saquon Barkley moving forward? Is he just an injury-prone player too? Is it a New York thing?
Yeah,
Mets and the Jets thing.
I think so. Yeah, that injury, we'll see how he comes back. If he's the running back he was, if he can not run scared like he did last year, it seemed like. But running backs' careers are short. I didn't love drafting him when they did. I would never draft a franchise running back because you could go down the list of great Hall of Fame running backs that never won a championship. They don't win championships. Quarterbacks do. Offensive lines, they win championships, and defenses win championships. Skill positions don't. How many wide receivers and running backs that are some of the greatest of all time weren't on championship teams? So I never liked the move.
Unfortunately, has that curse of being a Penn State running back too.
That's true.
Kajana
Exactly.
What's
Kajana Carter?
The list of Penn State running backs that came with this, with this thing that they're going to take over the NFL, and then half a year, maybe a year in, they break their, they kick some, they break their toe getting out of bed.
I feel like Penn State is one of those schools that always has players with promise. For me, it's kind of like Duke as well. They always produce these fucking great college players that never turn into big pros.
Grant Hill was all right.
Grant Hill was all right, yeah, sure. But
it's okay.
He's all right.
Remember Bobby Hurley?
Well, listen, he was that poor kid got injury prone. I understand, but he's coaching now. That whole Hurley family of basketball geniuses. They're taking that family business and they're running the high school and college.
Who's the asshole from last year that everybody fucking hated? What's his name?
Oh, in college?
The Duke kid that fucking went to the NBA, but the white kid.
Oh, that kid. He's got like his name is like Tucker or something. Like I forgot his name. He had like the most fouls.
But he's got that name of like my fault.
He plays for the Pelicans, I think now. He plays for the Pelicans. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're just like a douchey little kid, a little punchable face,
Oh shit! I forgot my thing to touchscreen with it. I got some funky background going on here.
Yeah.
We'll go to the Ukraine.
But I think as far as your quarterback, Joe, you got Daniel Jones now. I think he's going to be he's going to be representing clients in a couple of years as a lawyer or something, or doing heart surgery somewhere. I mean, kid went to Duke.
Yeah.
If football is not an option, I'm sure he's got a career he can fall back on. Maybe bookkeeper.
No, I do love how he channels his inner Eli, where he's just like that dopey looking dude.
Yeah.
And you almost wanted to see him be like, and that's my favorite thing about Eli. I think we talked about it last time I was on with these guys. He was just like this dopey, geeky dude in Omaha. But when that ball was snapped in his hands, he was an absolute beast.
But that's the thing. The biggest thing between Daniel Jones and Eli Manning is he didn't have part of Archie Manning's sperm.
Yeah, exactly. He has that same like kind of geeky, like soft look to him, but he doesn't have like that killer instinct that Manning did. At least not yet. But I'm looking forward to the season just to see what he does. I mean, either way, they're not going to go far. If he has a good season, he has a good season. If not, hopefully we get a good draft pick.
Okay. And I agree.
All right, boys. Real quick before we depart, Mr. Rich. NCAA tourney, both of you. Going Tar Heels or going Jayhawks? I'm Tar Heels.
North Carolina, UNC. I think they're going to win tonight. I think they got that local kid on there. So we got to root for the local kid. The kid from Westchester, Stepinac High School.
Let it roll in the greens.
All right.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody outside of Kansas rooting for Kansas. I think everybody naturally roots against Duke and for North Carolina. So
I was so happy to see Coach K in his last. I don't know, just Coach K again. He's just like they like the Patriots. See, just don't want to see Coach K there anymore.
Yeah.
And what more fitting?
Patriots,
You know what's
Yankees,
funny about
Cowboys,
last thing while I sign off about the UNC Duke thing? One of the greatest rivalries of all time ever. Best games ever. But you know what Coach K is going to be known for? Losing to North Carolina in the Final Four, and that is all he's going to be known for.
Yeah,
his entire career, it never happened. He finally gets there and gets
with a nice little bow in his career.
Loses his last game to Duke.
Yeah,
very last game to Duke. Last game to North Carolina. Rich, before you get out of here, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
No, I got nothing I want to plug, but I want to thank Russ. I really appreciate it. We're going to help each other. I'm going to be getting my own thing going on soon, so. That's in those infant stages now, but like I said, me and Russ are going to talk, and we'll help each other out. So, Russ, I really appreciate Joe. Pleasure to meet you, man.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Hopefully, we'll talk during the season. Hopefully, we'll have a few of these during this season. Absolutely. We'll have to meet up at City for.
Unless I talk too much, and Russ never has me again.
No, absolutely. I love talking. All right, thank you, Rich.
Boys.
Have a good night.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
All right, Mr. Boots, we're going to do a quick little hockey, and we're going to
talk some hockey. Some hockey.
So, I don't know if you saw the other night, Flyers coach Mike Yeo, he ended Keith Yandel's fucking Ironman streak at 989. What do you think about that? I mean, they said, they wanted to get the young guys to play there, and I guess they've been carrying Yandel, who hasn't been playing well, but at this point in the season, I get you want to see the young guy, but listen, let the man just you already let him get this far. You let him break the record when chances are he should have been a healthy scratch a long time ago. I say, listen, let 11 more games, let him get the 1,000. It's a crazy number and be done with it.
No, so I did hear about that. What was the actual streak? Was it
989?
He suited? No, I mean,
he played,
was it suited up or you touched the ice for a minute?
Yes, he played in 989 straight games. No injuries, no healthy scratches, and he held the record. And the crazy thing is, he was actually
on the ice for at least a few minutes. There's no reason not to put him on the ice for a few minutes.
Well, I mean, it's not like you could put him on the ice for a few minutes and then take him out of the game, let somebody else go in. But they're already out of the playoffs. Just let him That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, you could throw him on and give him limited ice time if you need. I don't need to see the reason to. You're out of the playoffs. Let the guy play. It's what 11 games, right, or so.
Yeah. So now it's over. You know who number 2 is and who's very close? I think he's only 30 or 40, 50 games away.
Who's that?
The fucking hot dog lover himself, Phil Kessel.
Really?
Yes.
That makes sense. It's
amazing to think that Phil Kessel never been injured, never had any of that shit. He's got a chance to break Yandel's streak and fucking be the all-time Iron Man.
That is pretty damn impressive for a hockey player.
Hockey's version of Cal Ripken. I think it is, being how physical the game is, to make it that many straight games and not be a healthy scratch or injured or
for at least one game a season, to just say, hey, I'm beat up, coach. Like, I need a night off, whether it's a full injury or not, just to take a night off. Hockey, I mean, it's probably the most physical sport there is because of the schedule itself, how many games they play and how physical it is. So that's to end that streak with 11 games going, why not just let them finish the season? I don't get it. Even though it's 11 games, it doesn't matter. Let them finish.
Now, on the other night, did you happen to catch the Trevor Zegras goal? The insane, the insane fucking. This man took a pass between his fucking legs, took a shot with it, almost like what Marek Malik did. Caught his own rebound and basically Michigan the fucking thing.
Really?
Did it around his own player. His own player was standing next to the nets. As he went around, he reached around him and put it fucking in. But I guess the big controversy was the announcers announcing the game. Basically, Troy Beagle jumped on Jay Beagle jumped on Troy Terry, one of their scorers, and really hurt him, beat the shit out of him for really no apparent reason. and it was sort of in response to Zagreus's goal. And the announcers kind of condoned it, that if you pull off a goal like that, that you should get your ass beat. But listen, it's not that he was show. Listen, the way the kid pulled this off on the fly is just straight out skill, and I don't think people should be fucking beat up for it.
No, I think that's crazy. Anything, he wasn't showboating. He did what he had to do to get the puck in the net. You know, that's not after the goal is your excessive celebration or whatever you call it.
He has a talent.
That these athletes cry about, like in baseball, bat flips or staring it down the pitcher, or that scoring a touchdown, excessive celebrations. I'm all for it.
Well,
I
love a good bat flip, but some of them get a little egregious. Some of them are a little, like, what was it?
When you're purposely doing it, and yeah, right. When you're purposely doing it, when it's just instinct, you hit that home run and just out of instinct, bam, you know, cool. When you have like a pre-planned celebration, and you're like, next home run I hit, I'm gonna do it like this. To me, that's a little much. If it comes to the heat of the moment, the excitement of it, same thing. You know, like, get back to the original point in hockey. If it's a celebration, you're hugging each other, slamming each other into the boards. That's cool. But to want to fight a guy or to go after a guy for the act of physically scoring is crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It was crazy. I had to show you the goal. I should have loaded it up on video. I had too much to do. I was too nervous for my own first solo.
For your own, you did well. You're killing it.
Oh, pipe down over there, Robin Quivers.
Yes.
All right, Rangers. I know that we're inconsistent, but I'm still loving Cobb and Vetrano and Mott. And Mott is coming so close to his first goal, but the guy plays with such energy, and he hits quite well.
How many points does he have now since he's been a Ranger?
I don't know that Mott doesn't have a goal. But I don't know if he has any assists.
He's get a few assists.
But Cobb and Vetrano have quite a bit. Cobb himself has only been one game which he has not gotten a point. And Vetrano had the fucking like 3 goals in 2 games the other day. Really, really like what they're doing. But since the All-Star break, we've been highly inconsistent. And Igor's starting to show some cracks. And I brought it up the other day, and a friend said it's ridiculous because he's, whatever he is, 26 or 27, or 25, however the fuck old he is. That I said he's only ever played 39 games in his career, as far as the most he's played in a season, and now he's already past that. How much does a kid that age feel the wear and tear, and could he be starting to wear down? That's got to be a concern, and I would think that'd be the only reason, really, that he's been playing. Gallant's been playing Georgiev, especially on these back-to-backs, and playing him as much as he did, considering that Georgiev is really not playing well.
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that. I mean, he was up until a couple of weeks ago. He was in the MVP, not All-Star, MVP conversation, right, for the whole league. Not even
now he's definitely not in it now, and he's definitely pretty much now. The Vezina itself is up for grabs. He had that.
That's right. I said Calder, Vezina, right. Right. The Vezina was basically almost, I'd say, a lock at that point. We were talking MVP of the season. Now that conversation's a little different right now. Is it wear and tear? I mean, it's got to be something. I hope it's a little. I hope he needs just a little rest. That we can give him, since we're in the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs. I don't care about finishing number 1 at this point. We're not going to do it. Yeah. We're in the playoffs. Let's coast in there. Let's get some guys healthy. Let's get some guys rest and make a deep playoff run.
My biggest concern,
but we're going to need Igor.
My biggest concern is the rest. I don't think it's so much the defense. I mean, yes, we've been playing inconsistent, playing like shit a little bit, but he's definitely let in quite a few softies the last 2 weeks, especially last night. With that knuckling puck that just – I get it confused him, but, I mean, you can never let that in. That was a terrible shot that he let in, but –
yeah, and that's the thing in the beginning of the season, and I mean up until recently, he wasn't letting in those soft goals. It wasn't even a question. He was stopping everything that came his way.
I'm very happy though. I feel even though with the way we've been playing, I think Panarin's definitely not that he didn't not that he wasn't asleep. I think it's amazing how he wasn't really playing well, but he was still a point per game player and getting a million assists.
Yeah.
That I think now though he's finally waking up, which is a good thing. Kreider just keeps fucking Kreidering on, man.
I was going to say, how cool is it to watch? A little
This is
frustrating, but very cool.
This.
Finally, he's the superstar that he was supposed to be how long ago?
Yeah.
And we've all loved him and all have been super frustrated with him over the years, right? Because of how inconsistent he is, where he goes from, this month to the best player in hockey, and then this month he doesn't exist, and you don't even realize he's on the ice. Yeah. But this year he's just put it all together and had an amazing year. It's fun to watch finally. After a lot of frustration and a lot of ups and downs with him, it's awesome to see him having such a career year right now and be the Rangers' top goal scorer and point getter probably in a long time.
No, I don't think he's the points. I think that's still Panarin.
Panarin has points.
He really doesn't have a lot of assists.
Right.
He's all goals, but I'm very happy they finally put together the season that we've been waiting for.
It's
a million years. I gotta say too. I think. Trouba finally makes me happy. I think he's finally settled in and really this year. I think him and Keandre Miller. I think he's taken big strides this year. I was not a fan of his coming into this year, and I think he's improved a lot and definitely looks more confident the way he plays. But we definitely got to pick it up a little bit. I think there's 12 or 13 games left. Or 14, could be wrong, somewhere in there. I know it was 15 the other day. So.
Somewhere around there, yeah. I'll be at the next Tuesday. I'll be at the game against Carolina.
All right. Yeah, we got to play, I think, Pittsburgh another time. I think we play.
Yep.
What we got here? I love how I said, we're not going to do a long show, and it's been an hour and 20 minutes. We're going to get out of here. We play the Devils again tomorrow night. Then the Penguins. Then the Senators. Oh, Liverpool, Man City on fucking Sunday. Oh,
it's a good one.
It's a good one. That's probably the title race right there because they're both 1 point apart. I'm a Liverpool fan, so fuck everybody else. All right, and then I think that's going to wrap it up, Joe. We have some little crazy news with the World Cup. U.S. been making the fucking finally get to see a U.S. World Cup with Captain America, Christian Pulisic, and we play fucking.
Love to see it.
We play fucking England the day after Thanksgiving. It's gonna. Honestly, I think that's probably going to be the biggest game as far as bringing in fans because everybody's going to be home. It's going to be nationally televised. It's the World Cups. Even soccer fans that don't really watch it, as far even non-soccer fans will watch it. And you're talking about a day after Thanksgiving against fucking England. It's going to be fucking huge, and I think that's if we win, you're going to see a lot more people jump on the USA train. And for all those fucking Italian fans out there, fucking losers lost to North Macedonia. I could probably beat North Macedonia.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you're Italy. Yeah. The crazy thing is they've been knocked out of 2 straight World Cups, and the last one they were in, that's they fucking won.
That's right. Yeah, I'm excited to see that game against England. It's going to be cool to see, hopefully the U.S. can make some moves and bring a little excitement to soccer in the U.S.
All right,
probably not.
I want to thank you very much for coming on. I enjoyed this conversation, and hopefully our viewers out there enjoyed the same thing. So this is you can follow me on Twitter at Russellmania61. Mr. Boots does not have Twitter, so you cannot follow him on Twitter. That's not there. And BMI, I got the fucking peanut gallery over here laughing at me. So
always.
But what else we got here? Got a bunch of captions I can show. What else we trying this thing out? I got to control it. You listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I think Spotify is not on for like a day or so. If you want to email us, email our person who does our email account, E.A.T show@gmail.com. This is a new one. You can do your part to support the people of Ukraine by subscribing to the E.A.T podcast. We're just going to go with that. What else we got here? There's a bunch of pre-made captions here. And there we go. All right. Everybody, live from New York. Have a wonderful evening.
Signing off.